This is my last video on speech habits. I thought I'd be on to more interesting subjects by now, but I caught the Rona last week and I didn't want to make a video when I looked like death. I'm going to talk about people using indefinite language when making definite statements. Examples of indefinite language include almost and probably. It's fairly common to hear one of these words in a statement where the speaker doesn't appear to mean almost or probably, but instead appears to be making a definite point. If I were to tell someone in a specific context, I almost think it's better off this way, chances are what I mean is I think it's better off this way. The almost is a sugarcoating tactic that people use when they're unsure of how their audience will react, and they're essentially afraid of the possibility of a negative reaction. Or at least this is the case until it becomes a habit. Many people reach the point where they throw indefinite terms into definite statements automatically, in the same way they don't realize they use literally 7 times a minute. So why is this important? Because when you speak in definite terms when making a definite statement, and reserve indefinite language for when it's appropriate, people will respect you more, including future employers. If you sound weak, you're more likely to be treated as though you're weak. Another speech habit that likely arose from people using indefinite speech is the use of like in the manner that it's notoriously overused. The way many people started overusing like 20 years ago was to sugarcoat statements. If Fred was trying to arrange a meeting with Jack, instead of Jack saying, "I have no free time this week," he would say, "I have like no free time this week," as if to remove some of the hard truth from his statement, by saying it's only like this thing rather than it is this thing. This reflects weakness and isn't likely to work in Jack's favor in the workplace. The use of like has since expanded into different areas, such as quoting oneself by starting off, "I was like," instead of "I said." And in many cases, like means nothing more than a pause in a sentence or an equivalent to But it was the developing epidemic of weak individuals that likely set off the trend of overusing this word. I've said this before, but it's important to pay attention to the differences between the world we grew up in and the world we live in now. There's nothing flashy about some of the topics I cover, but a topic doesn't have to be flashy in order to hold cultural significance.